published stories in various places, but including Gutter and New Writing Scotland. He's been commissioned and has also performed at the Edinburgh International Book Festival, and he's also performed at Words Per Minute in Glasgow. He's been working on his novel, which, as he says, has had more name changes than the artist formerly known as Prince. It is currently called Buttons for Eyes, which is a great title, and I hope it stays, but I wouldn't hold your breath. And he has been working on that with writer Kevin McNeil as his mentor. Okay, can we welcome Allan?
Thanks, Jean. I've kept a list actually of all the names that this novel's had, and if you look down it reads a bit like the starting lineup at the Grand National. The protagonist is a very buttoned up and rather remote school teacher whose facade begins to crumble following a terrible event. And the two short extracts I'm going to read give you a flavour of the character and his relationships with his pupils. I set off in the direction of town, but before long the darkness has risen up from the cracks in the pavement, and the rain is coming down hard. Climbing the hill, I walk into the wind, all the needle pricks hurtling into my face. I dive under a cafe awning, stand for a moment in the doorway, letting my hands thaw. I take off my specs and watch the sky for a while, running my fingers through my hair until the rain thins to a trickle. Hiya, Mr. Knott. Two of my fourth-year girls come into focus. They're dressed for the weekend, their hair high, makeup darkly elaborate, their clothes a patchwork of colours and fabrics. It takes a moment for their names to come. Hello there, Michelle, Karen. My hand shoots up to my hair, scoops a stray wet lock from my forehead and returns it to the fold. I like your jacket, Mr. Knott. Thank you, Michelle. That's very kind of you. Very kind indeed. I slide my glasses back up my nose and tweak them into place, establishing a protective barrier between us. I would give almost anything for them not to have seen me in this state of disarray. I have a horror of bumping into pupils outside the safety of the classroom, dread the impertinent cry of, Mr. Knott, this is a surprise, fancy seeing you here, followed by an ironic invitation to join them in a cup of coffee. I assume the face. Perfected many years ago as a novice teacher, the face combines the inscrutable smile of the Mona Lisa with an almost total lack of expression in the eyes. Michelle, the more assured of the two girls, sticks out her hip. So, what are you up to, Mr. Knott? Bit of shopping, Michelle. Those shelves won't restock themselves. This is better. Friendly, but slightly aloof, emphasising the distance between us in years and status. Michelle smiles. Karen blushes and giggles into her brightly gloved hand. Such round, young faces, such sparkling eyes. In their strong colours and weekend hats and plastic jewellery, they look like children who have come across a fancy dress box and couldn't quite bring themselves to stop embellishing. I'd love nothing more than to giggle along with them. Michelle snaps her chuggy off the roof of her mouth. Yeah, we're a bit skint, eh, Karen? Karen nods solemnly. But we're on the hunt for new gear. It's Blake's party tonight. She leaves an expectant pause at the end of the sentence. Her eyes are shining. Oh, Blake's having a party, is he? Yeah, blurts out Karen. Michelle shoots her a look as though shocked to discover her friend is able to speak. You must have heard about it, Mr. Knott. His mum and dad have got a massive house. The whole school's going. It's going to be awesome. The Americanism clangs against my ears. Well, I think Blake must have forgotten my invitation, Michelle. I pull a forlorn face and the two girls giggle riotously. Right, well, we better be getting off, Mr. Knott. Enjoy the rest of your weekend. We'll be seeing you on Monday. Goodbye, ladies. Enjoy the party. Oh, aye, we will, Mr. Knott, we will. I watched them bump off down the road, elbow to elbow. The backs of their cheerful jackets vanish past the off-licence. I wonder how they will report the encounter to their friends. Snotty made a joke. That will do my reputation no favours. Once, by accident, I overheard a trio of third-year boys giving a post-mortem on one of my lessons. Aye, Mr. Knott can be a bit of a dick, one of them muttered, but he's all right. As an epitaph, I couldn't hope for better. Here lies Callum Knott, teacher. He was all right. And the second excerpt I'm going to read is a little later in the novel. It's in the aftermath of a week's teaching. Home time. My classroom is a heap. Desks shoved every way in the rush to escape converge on the centre of the room. Chairs lean in every direction. One chair has been knocked over and lies in the path to the door. It has been a bad afternoon, one of the worst in my career. At around 2:10, higher class rep Roseanne Gilderoy was pushed to the front of the room. She and her comrades didn't understand the project I'd set for them that term. They wanted to do something, anything else. I felt the air go loose out of me. For some reason, I'd assumed the partitioning of Germany after the Second World War would fascinate them. I'd been in full arm-waving flight, enthralling them with tales of the Iron Curtain and the Berlin Wall and Checkpoint Charlie. But no, apparently like many of the topics I offered up to them, this was boring. As Roseanne stood there, hesitantly reporting the class's verdict, my enthusiasm melted like Icarus's wings and came plummeting back down to earth. I gave Roseanne short shrift. What do you think this is? A democracy? Dying a little as the cliché left my mouth. The old Mr. Knott would have laughed off the incident, congratulated Roseanne on her cheek, but she caught me at the wrong moment, and I barked at her so hard my throat hurt. I survey the wreckage from the safe haven of my desk. It isn't so much what happened that troubles me, it's the way I handled it. I've always prided myself on my lightness of touch, my ability to maintain control with a well-aimed look or well-chosen phrase. Maybe the kids have spotted something different about me, some chink in my armour. Does sadness always show in your face? Seconds since the bell went, and already the place is deserted. My specs sit folded on the desk. I pull back the legs and stare through the lenses at the cracks in the wood. The prescription is so low it's barely worthwhile. I wear my glasses as a kind of mask, a key component of my disguise. I'm like a superhero with a twist, my powers triggered only when my specs go on. The last person to leave the room is Adam Forsyth. He lingers after the explosion of bodies and desks and chairs, slowly packing his rucksack as though heartbroken at the prospect of leaving, his head bent, his hair falling over his face. The long hair is new on Adam, and so is the timidity. I remember him in his first year as the very definition of keen. He sat in the front row and shot his hand into the air at every question. The old Adam was a pleasant, bespectacled, smiling boy who worked hard and was lucky enough to have a mother and father who turned up on parents' night and seemed genuinely interested in his progress. In the last year or two, Adam has changed. His demeanour is different. He's become hunched. His eyes are dull. He no longer smiles. The glasses are gone and his eyes have shrunk to dots in the centre of his head. His mouth carries creases of worry around the edges. His work is still completed and handed in on time, but now he sits silent at the back of the classroom, his newly long hair draped over his face, his body folded over on itself like a flip knife. What's wrong? I want to ask him as he hoists his rucksack onto his shoulder and edges between the desks. What's wrong, Adam? Is it trouble at home? Are you in love? Is it growing pains? Or something more sinister? I put my glasses on and assume the face as he plods past my desk. Have a good night, Adam. I resist asking what his plans are. That would mortify him. As he passes, he glances briefly at me and mutters something in the direction of the floor, blinking at the effort of 2 syllables. Just before he gets to the door, he bends and resurrects the knocked-over chair, slowly returns it to its rightful place behind one of the desks,